Hi everyone, and welcome back. We still don't have a name for our show.
We need a name.
The Kitty and Emma show, the Emma and Kitty, the Saturée show. But we wanted to, I say go live, but we're not actually live. I'm just so used to saying go live. But talk about Cascara, the amazing Cascara, and it's been on our website since we launched. But we've been waiting on the product, and we're so excited because it's finally here. It's on its way to the warehouse, and I'd say it would probably hit in a few days.
Yeah, hopefully it's Monday, left Friday, so hopefully next couple of days, definitely.
And I think, Emma, before you talk about the amazing Cascara and all the health benefits, we should just probably tell them the pretty funny story about Pete and you and me and Craig and the Cascara. So Cascara doesn't have the most amazing taste. And Emma said, Pete and I are on the same page with the taste. Like, we really hate the taste, and we're a bit wussy when it comes to taking this Cascara. And Emma and Craig, they're on team Emma and Craig about the Cascara. They just put it in the water and they wash it down. And they laugh at us and, think that we're so wussy that we can't just drink it. Because one day I came up with this great idea, which I think is very resourceful. You want to make taking these things as easy as possible. So I just ordered some gelatin capsules, and I just put a little bit of the Cascara in the gelatin capsule and take it. And I shared it with Pete. And, Pete thinks it's revolutionary, just like me. But we, have this little group message where we pay each other out about, and now Craig's moved over to the team capsule.
Craig's on salt. It used to be hardcore, and really it doesn't taste that bad. I've tasted these herbs that made me want to cry, and this is, make a little shot of it down. I think most customers are going to go, what's the big deal? Yeah,
they'll be like, what's Kitty talking about? It's not that bad. It's just, it's a bit of a bitter taste, but it's definitely worth.
The bitterness is what helps.
Yeah. It's worth that.
When you appreciate how good it is and how important it is, you start to appreciate the taste.
That tiny little 2 seconds of discomfort of flavour. It's not that bad. It's not that bad. So Emma, what is Cascara?
Cascara. So Cascara Sagrada, it's been used by, American Indians for eons, but it's a bark, basically. It's dried, and the big thing is that it needs to be very well aged for at least a year for it to have its true potential of what it can do, and also so that it doesn't become irritating. And ultimately, you can use it as, I suppose the safest and most helpful laxative that we found to be available. Most laxatives work by way of really irritating the smooth muscle of the bowel, but Cascara is more naturally stimulates the intestines to move the waste out, and it has far more benefits than that. But ultimately, the first point of call most people will keep in stock is to help if they're a bit slow, a bit sluggish, a bit constipated, have less than one really decent bowel motion a day. But yeah, it comes from a bark ultimately, so it's a very natural product. But yeah, most of the Cascaras you'll find generic brands in the health food store or mixed with other potions and things. You'll see it in a mixture most of the time. It hasn't been sufficiently aged, and the aging process is key. And apparently the Italians do it the best. Mm-hmm. So accessing it up until now has been a nightmare, particularly in Australia.
Do you remember when we very first, when we were trying to get it, and then they would only prescribe it to you?
Yep. Scripts for it, which is like really a script for a bark. But yeah, it's so profoundly beneficial that we dug, didn't we? Until we found someone who could get it in for us. And it is the good stuff. It's the stuff that Dr. Pete talks about, and he only recommends the Farmable product, which is out of Italy. So we've managed to access the good stuff.
And maybe let's go back to talking about poo and why it's, because I find with a lot of our clients, when they, their metabolisms are a bit sluggish, that their bowel movements slow down, which really affects them because they're not, getting rid of that waste product every day. And I've really found that this has been key in helping them while they're improving their metabolism, just to make sure that they have that good bowel movement once a day. Like, it really, I don't really get constipated very, very often now, but on the odd occasion, if we go away, I'm not eating my normal food and I do, you really notice it. I don't even know how to describe it. Like you just feel sluggish and like probably, yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. So why is it just so important that you go every day?
Well, I think when it comes to, people taking on better lifestyle choices, food choices, they can get so fixated on the food, which is very important, obviously, making good food choices. If you're analysing your plate and checking that your food was, well cooked from a good source and nutritious and all that, very important, of course. But if we're not also looking at what's coming out the other end and making sure that the waste that's left behind is eliminated on a daily basis, if not twice a day, then the choices you're making, I mean, they're not going to have the full effect that they could have, because if we're accumulating waste in our bowels, it's, starts to then build up and enter into the small intestine as well, and you get this bacterial overgrowth that is really toxic. So it leads to the bacteria creating the endotoxin, which then creates nitric oxide, and it's literally a cell poison. So you could be there going, but I'm eating all this good food and paying all this good money for my food. But if you're not having a good bowel motion, and I've had so many clients who think that it's quite normal and okay to have one every 3 days, and that's been their normal for years. And they wonder why they have this, all sorts of other systemic problems. And even though their diet is so good, it's like, we've got to get the junk out. And there's only so much of the food that is completely absorbed and utilized by the body. Waste still has to exit. And then this backlog of waste also puts further pressure on the liver. We need our livers to be, not strained and not struggling. We need them to be working and firing away really nicely. Otherwise, we're not going to detoxify toxins and old hormones correctly. So, yeah, getting the waste out is so important. And when you look at, slowed transit time or constipation, definitely contributes to an increased estrogen levels, accelerated aging, skin breakouts. I mean, it's just this compounded, issues from these elevated endotoxins. So getting the waste out is so fundamental. And obviously, initial food choices and improvements make a big difference. So we talk about the carrot salad, which, we recommend daily, if not, the well-cooked mushrooms, bamboo shoots, things like this, the soluble fibers from fresh fruits and things like that certainly help. And everything we do also trying to encourage better thyroid function, because the thyroid does rule, the work, the peristalsis that can happen. So when the thyroid starts to get a bit sluggish, our peristalsis is also a bit, lame. So all these things should contribute to helping the bowel motions be better. But until we get thyroid functioning optimally, often we need help to start getting the waste out. Because how good do you feel when you've had a really complete bowel motion? Like, is there anything
nothing like it.
If you hadn't had a good poo in a couple of days and all of a sudden you have terrific, really fantastic food, my husband calls it like he feels like a spring lamb. And
it's like the simple pleasures everyone should enjoy.
Yeah, but again, you're taking that load away. Your bacterial load just suddenly is released, and on all levels, you feel this systemic benefit. Like you feel brighter in your eyes, and you can concentrate. The mood shifts. It's can be life-changing for some people, and so many people walking around constipated and don't even know it. Or then they go to other laxatives, which are really quite destructive to the microvilli in your intestinal tract. They can elevate inflammation. They're very irritating, and they're what we sort of call a bit more habit forming, I suppose. But the Cascara being the safest bet for something that's going to help you, get the bowels nice and clear and emptied. But on top of that, it has all sorts of other systemic benefits.
Oh, it's amazing. And it's something that I think everyone should have in their toolkit. Like we've got it. I'll take it.
Having your first aid backup kit of things that some people, they literally need it every day or every day for a good while until they get on top of things and cleared out some old waste, and their body can handle eliminating the waste just from the previous day, as opposed to old waste that's been accumulating for days or weeks. But then other people, just to have it on hand. Like you said, if you're traveling, and plane travel, I think, is a big one. When you're stuck sedentary, immobile for too long, it completely has an impact on the regularity of your bowels, or just to have it around if you notice anyone in the family is suddenly getting a bit sniffly, a bit, you know, all signs of endotoxin being a bit elevated, or the time of the month might have an effect on the bowels too. Then just having a little bit, you know, when the symptoms arise, certainly can help.
Yeah, it's good stuff. It's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone feels better after a big poo.
Oh, completely.
Yeah.
Oh, and then on top of that, what we're saying is taking that little bit lesser amount. So someone who's already quite regular, just say you have 2 fantastic poos a day, you certainly don't need it for that benefit. I would take a much lesser amount, then you can still get huge benefits from it. So Imodium is sort of the main component of Cascara, which has some pretty profound effects. It's been shown to be an anti-inflammatory, antiviral, anti-carcinogen in many studies. It does in itself help to elevate the metabolic rate. So it has benefits beyond the bowels we sort of talk about, which could still be worth having on hand for those reasons.
Oh, it's good. Yeah, it's perfect timing because we've nearly run out of our one that we had to get on script from you when you had to write the script for it. Yeah. So it's good. It's perfect timing.
Well, we should probably talk about dosing a little bit, but always err on the side of caution. You know.
Yeah, you don't need a lot.
Some people don't need much. Some people might need an 1/8 or even a 1/16 of a teaspoon. So we decided not to even put a measure in there because it's very person dependent. There is no one set rule of thumb, but literally off a teaspoon, you might start with like an 1/8 of a teaspoon. Dissolve it in a little bit of hot water straight out of the kettle. Get it nice and dissolved, just a little bit. Don't make it too tall, or you're going to take longer to have to.
Well, you can get the capsule if you're a bit of a wuss like me.
You could. I think there is still some benefit to really dissolving it before you ingest it. I'm going to burst your bubble on that one, Kitty. But I think when it comes to powders and things like that, those kind of dissolvable powders, it's really good to get it in liquid form. But
Don't be a wuss like Pete and Kitty.
Kitty. Go and get yourself some capsules. But I'd start with an 1/8 at most, and then, you know, add a splash of cold water so you don't bring quickly down that, and I'd probably do it before bed. It does have a gentle calmative effect too. It could improve your sleep quality, but just keep it away from, you know, a full meal. I'd have it slightly more empty stomach or just around liquids. And then if perhaps the next day or two you're not noticing any major difference to your bowel motions and you're still a bit stuck, you could up it again, maybe 1/4 teaspoon the next night, just see. And when you get to that point where you get a lovely full but still, you know, not too watery bowel motion,
you don't want to
down the right amount. If it does get too watery, a bit too urgent, I'd pull back or stop for a day or two and have a much lesser amount. But it takes a few days to find your right.
I think too, like splitting the dose, like I've found with clients, like if they'll start and then they'll do some in the morning, some at night, like instead of having it all at once, they do well on that as well. So I think, like you say, it's just testing and measuring to find that perfect dosage frequency for you, just to get that poo just right.
Oh, well, this is it. And then you're going to get more benefits from all the other efforts you're putting into your diet. And, you know, even just how do you feel training? If you hadn't had a good poo for 24 hours.
No one wants to, you can't squat when you need to poo, Emma. You can't.
Abdominals and really put your core right.
It's not good.
Throwing waste around. Yeah, that's it. So we've got to really not just think about what we're taking in, but what we're also excreting and making sure that doesn't, you know, lead to accumulated issues.
And again, too, you know, don't eat a shit house diet and then just take the Cascara. You want to make sure that, you know, the Cascara,
it's not
an excuse to.
It's not going to nourish you as such. It's not going to provide nutrients that your, you know, nutrient devoid diet, you know, is the problem. You definitely want to get the nutrients in, but you want to make sure that you're not put this backlog of waste that's compromising your absorption. Yeah.
And if you head over to the Saturée website, Emma's written an awesome blog article there with lots of great links as well that you can have a read of.
Oh, I definitely, even before ordering it, just to go on and read everything there is about it, and hopefully inspire you to go why it is so important. And always understand what it is you're taking and all the research out there that's proving how helpful and protective it is. Yeah.
Awesome. And if you have any questions, as always, just shoot us an email, info@saturée.com.au. So yeah, if you buy it and you've got any questions, just reach out. Awesome. Well, thanks so much, Emma.
My pleasure, Kitty.
And I will see you next time.
See you soon.
Bye. Bye.